And we're back. Welcome to Copper Coins Coin Roll Hunt Reveal E479 of 1954D plastic tube roll. We got Dan in the house, and smash that like button. It does feel good, Dan. Definitely feels good. Let me get these out of here. And we will get this show rolling. I have broke these free from their Megrig tubes. I think I've got about 10 more dates left on the Megrig tubes. And then we will be done with those for a while. I might be getting some other wheat cent rolls, but they will all be in the 40s if I get them. Frostbite Adventures with Maxwell. You're in the need of the Philly, the 54 Philly. I might be doing a 54 roll. I've got a couple of 54 rolls. What date are you in need of, Maxwell? '57 Philly. Stonecutter, welcome. I think I've got a package coming to you. And our first coin in the roll is for Carl. See what we get in this roll. The last roll was an excellent roll. That is an RPM with a hit. We will take a peek and see if it's something we can identify. But it is very minor. Real far to the north towards the date. Nothing I see so far. I will hold it aside. If this is not listed, it probably won't be. So we will put this aside so I can look at it under different lighting. Sometimes they pop out. Ooh, that's not too bad. 85 rolls of wheat, $2 a roll. There are some double die obverses. We will be looking for those. Double die reverses, I believe there's one. We'll look at the first 10 coins. Adventure with Maxwell. Thank you so much. Love the BU copper. Yeah, me too. My wife, she's not real crazy. Actually, she's a good sport about the whole thing. We both have our obsessions. Mine's copper coins, and hers is sewing and fabric. She's got fabric like I've got pennies or cents. For those of you that don't like the word pennies. I haven't. I have not. Most of mine are dye varieties. I do have some nicer examples of like 31S and 14D and 15D and 15S and a few other dates. But most of them are just dye varieties. All right, Frostbite. Hopefully we'll see you soon. Oh, yeah, I got... What time is it? Oh, it's getting close. I got a puppy in here that thinks that it's time for her to get you-know-what. All right. Eric at coppercoins.com. All right, you want out, Pete? Come on, go on. I'm not going. I'm working. Two little dogs. Love them to death. It's amazing. When you have kids, the dogs are pets, but when your kids leave, your dogs become your kids. Coin number 5, Chubby Pop. Got some machine doubling on this. Seen this a few times. I think 3 of the 5 coins have been this die pair. It is, Farm Dog. It is. I can remember having dogs, and I always had like boxers and German short hairs and stuff like that. And I've got this mixed breed Chihuahua or mixed breed Dachshund that I just can't believe how attached I am to it. I've got a full bred Dachshund that I am very attached to, but she hasn't tested me like the other one has. She's had back surgery twice, and now she's getting ready to have an adrenal gland removed. You know, when she gets it, she gets sick. She gets sick with something that is totally treatable, but it's expensive to treat, like the Cushing's disease. She's got Cushing's disease, and the vet says, "Well, she's got like the good Cushing's disease," and I'm like, "God, I didn't know there was such thing as good Cushing's disease." And she says, "Yeah." She says, "All they got to do is remove her adrenal gland, and she'll be fine." And I'm like, "Okay." So now she's got to go. She's got an appointment to see a surgeon. She might not be a candidate for it because she is 12 years old. But when I first called that surgeon, she's like, "Yeah, you're going to need an MRI." And I says, "Well, we found it on an MRI. So do I have to get a second MRI?" And she's like, "Well, I would prefer it." I says, "Hey, I just paid for back surgery. This is, you got to help me out a little bit here. And I don't mind paying for the blood work and the surgery and all that other stuff, but, you know, she's got an MRI that's a couple months old. That should be fine." You know, my boxer was great, Dan. She was one of the better dogs that I've ever had. Characters, I couldn't keep up with the dachshund or a boxer now. Eric, welcome. Got a minor RPM here. See if I can get a better look at it. This is not as minor as the RPM from before. Let me double check that. It is not as minor as the one before, so we will go through and whip through these listings and see what we can find. Obviously somebody wanted outside. I see here my wife out there now. Ooh, and now I hear thunder. We have had an insane amount of thunder and lightning strikes the last 2 or 3 days. Not there. Hoping to find them with these die scratches. You'd think it would be easy to find, but not this time. Let me take a quick gander at the Wexler listings that I have. I don't see it there, so I will hold this out and see where it takes me. Coin 10, Mickey. That's what I heard, Dan. That's what I heard. Not us. It's going to be, well, you've lived here. We're probably got high 80s to 90 until November. And I love it. I can't wait to use the new pool. I think I can actually use it starting tomorrow. 77. Yeah, I heard the whole middle of the country had a big cool down. Yeah, right now, it's only 81 here because there's been no sun all day. As soon as the sun comes out, it shoots right to 90 degrees this time of year here. Boy, when I first moved here, Dan, I loved them too, and now I get cold. It's funny. I'm all in sweatpants and hate socks and shoes, but you got to do what you got to do. Ah, they got their mama to feed them. I hear her fixing their dinner, so they will leave her alone. Kevin Hawthorne, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. 1 minor RPM in the roll, actually 2, but the 1 is so minor. I'm with you, Dan. And you know, I grew up in the cold, and it never bothered me. But yeah, I'm with you. I would much rather it be too hot than too cold. Don't have to shovel heat. Oh, no way. I've been in snowstorms that have been just as bad as hurricanes, Eric. I was unfortunate enough to lose a house to a snowstorm. You know, but when I was young, I did enjoy like going ice fishing. I used to go camping on the ice on the lakes. I really enjoyed that. Heck, I can remember going on a camping trip on a lake where we all had our shanties in a little propane heaters, and it was so cold, the wind chill was like 60 below zero, and it was like an earthquake because the lake was making ice. So you'd just hear these big rumbles, and then the ice would shake because it was cracking. Because to make ice, it pushes the other ice up out of the water. Yeah, I wouldn't do it now, Dan. But when I was young, I loved stuff like that. I used to be a big hunt. I used to hunt a lot and fish a lot, and now I really have no. I don't even fish down here. It's great fishing down here. I've went 2 or 3 times, and had a great time. But I'm just not. I just don't, you know, live to fish where I used to kind of live. I would wake up every weekend and go fishing. Anything that freezes makes some cool noises. That's got some big dings on it. Coin 19, Kurt. Not a bunch in this roll. We had a really good roll last roll. For those that didn't join us, go back and watch. Turned out to be good. Yeah, I was near Lake Erie myself, just on the other side of the water, Stonecutter, and I liked it. I mean, it wasn't a terrible place to grow up. I was actually only a couple miles from the Detroit River, which connects Lake St. Clair to Lake Erie, and Lake St. Clair connects Lake Erie to Lake Huron. Ooh, you get that lake effect snow. That's where I have 2 daughters that live about 20 minutes from Lake Michigan. They live in a city called Albion. It's a nice place, but I don't regret it. I was originally, when I moved here, my wife kind of we moved here because she got transferred for work. Well, they asked her, would you like to move down there to work? And she said yes, and I says, of course. But I'm going to do the snowbird thing. I'm going to come back and live in Michigan in the summertime and get its best things and do my garden and do all that stuff. And I come back, and it was 104 degrees. We lost power for 10 of the 14 days I was there. And I left, put a for sale sign up, never went back. And a matter of fact, I haven't been back since. Since I sold that house, I haven't been back. A little bit of machine doubling on this. One of these days, we'll probably go visit some of the kids up there. They always want to come down to see us, so it's easy because they want to come down and get warm. Summer is just summer. It can be rough anywhere you're at. We got the peak of hurricane season coming to us. Hopefully, we get a little break for a few years. Basically, since 2019, seems like the area I live in has gotten hit by the big one every year. Oh, yeah. Yeah, my daughter just moved into a house and it's got AC in one room. And she says it was really hot when they moved in there. And she says there was all 5 of us in the room in the AC. The rest of the house was basically vacant. And I told her, I says, I don't blame you. Hurricanes aren't that bad. There was a couple of them that were pretty bad, though. The one that hit my house direct, it was pretty bad. And it wasn't so much that it was worse than any of the others. It just took a long time. Usually when a hurricane moves through, while it's windy all day, the real bad part usually only lasts about a half hour. And when Hurricane Ian went through, it like stalled right on top of my house. And it was literally 5-6 hours of ridiculous wind. And I'm 40 feet above sea level, so I don't get no flooding. Coin 16 looked like a different mint mark style. Well, let me look. If it's what I think it is, it's just... No, it's the same. It's just an early die state coin. So you're seeing the whole mint mark. And there, that's the same as the first one, I believe. Let me look. It is. This is probably going to be too minor, but I'm going to hold them out. I have been holding them out. You can see a little bit right there, a little bit right here. Yeah, Charlie was pretty tough. It was funny. My neighbor, after Ian passed, I can remember us coming out of our house in the morning, and my neighbor looked at me because he used to say, "Oh, Charlie this and Charlie that, and Charlie ripped the roof off your house," because I wasn't here during Charlie. And when he come out the door, he says, "Well," he says, "that was interesting." I says, "Yeah." He says, "Well, one thing's for sure, you'll never hear me complain about Hurricane Charlie again." I says, "Why is that?" He says, "Because this was just like Charlie, but it took 8 hours." So yeah, but yeah, I can say, now this is the die number 2. There's the die scratch in the back, so I'm going to hold this one. So we've got 2 of each. During Hurricane Ian, I have been through Andrew, Opal, Irma, a bunch of other ones that were just, they didn't make an impression. There's one I'm missing that was pretty bad. And I can say that I've never been frightened until Ian. There was a time during Ian that I thought there was a possibility that we could get injured or possibly lose our life during it. And I felt scared, hey, this is awful and we're going to lose windows. With Andrew, the construction wasn't as good. So there was a lot of windows blown out, doors blown out, roofs just ripped off because they weren't made to withstand that much wind. With Ian, the houses were built for, my house is built to supposedly withstand 250 mile an hour wind. And it was shaking. You could literally feel it moving. And when the roof come open, that was the weirdest sensation I have ever had in my ears. Me and my wife, neither one of us could really hear for almost a week after it. But that was the first question that I got from people after Ian was, so when are you moving? And I said, I'm not moving. We moved here for a reason and we're staying here. Yep, you get them up there too. Opal, I was in Orlando for Opal. And that one, it didn't seem terrible, but it seemed to knock a lot of trees and stuff over. It did a lot of damage that usually, and I think it was because it spawned a lot of tornadoes. While it didn't have a real high sustained wind, they do spawn tornadoes within the low pressure. And I think that's what actually happened around my house during Ian, was we got hit by a tornado. But Irma, that really set the stage for Ian, because Irma, Governor Scott was just going crazy. Everybody's got to leave. There's going to be no police. There's going to be no this. And everybody tried to leave and they all got stranded and basically sat the hurricane out on the freeway. And then when Ian came, they said the same thing and nobody left. Everybody stayed. Because they didn't want to get caught on the freeway, because being in a car in the freeway was just as bad as being at your house, they thought. They were wrong. Well, maybe not. I don't know. The freeway was packed because there was no fuel. That is the problem, is people hoard all the fuel and then there's no gas, so you can't leave anyways. But hopefully we get a couple years break. We definitely deserve it on the Gulf Coast. It has been, this is another one of the minor ones with the die scratch right there. So our third example of that. But I can remember a blizzard in Michigan where it was an ice storm. And we got like 3 foot of snow and then about 2 inches of ice on top of it. And every tree just collapsed. Every wire collapsed. And the roofs of the houses couldn't take it. Oh yeah, Eric, it will be mine too. And that's it, everybody goes, oh, this storm was worse or this storm was worse. Ultimately, the storm that makes the mark in your soul is the worst for you. Ian was the soul that it's my storm right now. It's the one that I relate with. Don't get me wrong. I am so glad I only had to deal with wind and not with a lot of water. The people that got the flooding from Ian. It's crazy. I saw videos of a friend of mine that was in Fort Myers Beach at the time, and he literally had water up to his. He was a third story, up to his patio. The 2 floors below him were underwater. And a lot of stuff got destroyed with water, just like with Milton. Something happened with Milton in Inglewood that had never happened before. They were like, "Oh, the storm surge wasn't that bad." Well, it turns out it's because it wasn't water; it was a wall of sand. They literally got a 20-foot wall of sand that pushed in. So even the houses that were built to withstand hurricanes on stilts, they pushed the stilted houses right off the stilts. This is the minor one. It's our third example of that. And that was crazy. I can remember going to the beach after, and there was literally mountains of sand. So there's even some people around here that say that Milton was the storm that ruined it for them. That was their storm because it did stuff. I mean, they thought there was going to be a huge storm surge, and they're like, "Wow, this isn't that bad." Well, it turned out it was all like sand. It wasn't water. I mean, there was water with it, but it was when the water went out, everything was buried in sand. Blizzard of 70. The one I'm talking about, Stonecutter, was Blizzard of 78. It was April of 78. And you guys probably got it the same there in Buffalo. I love it. I actually go to Blind Pass more than I go to actual Inglewood Beach. But I love that area. I only live probably about, as a bird flies 5 miles, but 10 miles if you drive. It takes me 20 minutes or so up 776. Yeah, I don't live too far from there. It's the beach I go to if I go to the beach. It's the closest one by me. Do you still got family down here, Eric? Ain't much woods left down here no more. They are starting to do that down here, Petraeus. We just had these hurricane-proof poles put in, but the wires still come down because trees hit them, debris hits them. And they just finished the project. Matter of fact, they hadn't even finished the project, and they started burying the lines. So there's a lot of power lines that are underground here now. I think the problem with it is when there is a failure, it's a lot harder to dig a hole to fix the lines than it is to pinpoint where the problem is when it's sitting there above your head. 1,000 cousins and a brother and a sister in Sarasota. Oh, all right. So you'll probably come down one day. And this should be the minor RPM. Very minor. But it is, I can tell by the die gouge by the 9. And that is it for the roll. I will be back tomorrow with a 60D large date roll. I hope everybody can join me. We also will have a reveal show. The only thing I'm certain of... All right. I hope you do, Eric. The only thing I'm certain of is there's going to be a 70D roll bank wrap because I just got 4 of them in the mail yesterday and I want to know what's in them. But I hope to see everybody around, and we'll talk to y'all later. We'll see you in the neighborhood. You guys have a great night.